As you probably could have guessed by now, Dinosaurs are one of my favorite new decks. I liked them a lot when they were brand new and just came in the structure deck, and we didn't have all of the True King support like Dragonic Diagram, and I didn't think I would like them when we got Dragonic Diagram, but lo and behold, I actually like them a ton, and it's probably my go-to deck for the WCQ, despite a lot of people thinking it's not the greatest deck. And that might sound hypocritical considering that this video is all about the problems with True King Dinosaurs, but I wanted to address the three biggest issues I see with them, and then also talk about how we can fix those, or how the game is naturally just going to fix those going forward. I think this is important because no deck is flawless. Well, I guess I should correct myself there, because Zoo right now is sort of flawless. I mean, there's some room to develop, and there's sort of tech cards as well. But in general, Zoo right now is unbeatable. And the good news is that Norden's getting banned, and that'll be totally different, especially with Terratop Limited as well. Zoo becomes a lot more inconsistent, a lot less powerful, no matter what anyone says. It'll still be very powerful, but not the best, the only deck that you can play. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to make this video because I feel like it's important to address the issues of a deck to actually move forward with them. Because if you can solve these three issues, or if the game solves these three issues, I think that could be a real contender at the WCQ. I mean, we've already seen it come on top of a ton of regionals, as well as a couple national championships, and I think it could be good here too, but there's three hurdles that we have to overcome. I also don't know what to put in the background of this video, so I'm just going to put a couple time-lapse videos of this dinosaur Lego set that I bought on a whim the other day. And yeah, I mean, all the dinosaurs in this Lego set happen to relate to dinosaurs in the deck we're talking about today, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know what to put in the background, so enjoy watching me struggle to put together some Legos. Anyway, the first problem with dinosaurs right now is that they lose to every single hand trap. Now, I should mention that Zoo also loses to a lot of hand traps, but I think Max Reynolds really had a good point when he said in his recent deck profile from the ARG that just happened that usually when you have just one hand trap against Zodiacs, it doesn't do anything. You need like two hand traps to kill them. The exception there is Retaliating Sea, but that won't be played when Lunalight Black Sheep isn't played anymore because there'd be no reason to. And dinosaurs are sort of the other way, where they just lose to pretty much every hand trap, especially if they have to go through a board on top of it. You can usually deal with one Ghost Ogre, or one, I mean, not so much Maxi, but like Ghost Ogre or Ghost, or not Ghost Ash, it's just Ash Blossom. Either one of those cards isn't that big of a deal, but it definitely slows you down. But if they have two of them, yeah, you're like totally screwed, because there's just not a lot of starter cards in the dinosaur deck. There's Diagram, obviously, and there's Overraptor, but even just like summoning an Overraptor doesn't actually accomplish anything, and that's sort of the problem. Overraptor is a really great searcher that's super versatile, but by itself it doesn't do anything, and that's like a huge issue. But there's just not a lot of starter cards, so any sort of hand trap just interrupts the entire thing, and you're doing a lot of destroying your own cards, and that's always open to interruption and stuff like that. So the good news is that like I said, without Norden in the metagame, people are shying away from hand traps more and more. So hopefully this won't be as big of an issue, but right now, especially before June 12th, it's definitely like the biggest issue. The second issue is that they lack a follow-up. Now, I think this is the easiest one to solve. I think the solution here is to play the Yang Zing cards. That was actually the one national tournament that someone topped with this deck. He was playing Yang Zings in his, very similar to the build that I've been showing on my channel the past couple of videos. And just in the conventional dinosaur deck, though, your main first turn play, or your goal, is to just summon True King of all Calamities, Naturia Beast, and Alagia. That's it. And that takes basically your entire hand, and you have no follow-up besides like a Miscellaneousaurus, if you even had one, because you have to use one Miscellaneousaurus to even get to the Naturia Beast, so like you'd have to have a second one to have any sort of follow-up. And while that board is strong, it loses to a lot of things, including kaijus and board wipes if they have a Ghost Ogre with it to stop the Naturia Beast. There's just a lot of different combinations of cards that are commonly played that can deal with those types of boards, as flashy and cool as they are. Why do I think the Yang Zings help this out? because if you pay attention to the Yang Zing combos, a lot of them end with a 9 pillars set and a Yang Zing on the board, which means that you can negate a card and then float into a Yang Zing, hopefully trigger a Chi-Win Engrave to then make a Herald of Arclight. And if you don't even have a Chi-Win Engrave, you still stop a card and summon a Yang Zing, which means if they board wipe you, you can then summon a Yang Zing again. And the Yang Zing's being floaters is super important for maintaining your board presence. I also like the Yang Zing version because you have access to Yang Zing Path, which is an excellent first turn digging card or late game blowout pretty much. And the regular Dinosaurs just doesn't have that. So I feel like the Yang Zings themselves, I just hate summoning Denglong, making it a level 9 monster, and then overlaying for Calamities. I feel like that's such a waste of such a powerful card. Denglong can do so many different things. Like it searches, it sends, it special summons stuff. Why waste it just to make it level 9 and then get rid of it? That's probably my biggest gripe with modern True King Dinosaur decks that don't play Yang Zings, is that they're just wasting Denglong entirely. So if you play actual Yang Zings in your deck, you don't have to waste Denglong. You can make use of all 3 effects in the same turn, and usually at that point you're so far ahead that you win, even if they board wipe you. And that's the important part, because people are going to play through your board. You can't just assume that your opening board is gonna win every game. It just won't. So playing cards that prevent you from losing to those types of situations, I think, is really important, and it's something that a lot of people are overlooking, because it's so hard not to not focus on, or to not focus on that sort of thing, because the Dinosaur first turn boards they look really cool, and they have so many different outs to different things that you would never think that you would need anything more than them, and yet you do, and it's really necessary. So I don't know, I feel like you have to look at your longevity more than your first turn play. The last thing, the third problem, and this one is sort of unavoidable, is that they have a lot of brick draws. And my good friend Ricky compared Dinosaurs to Sylvans from the 2014 WCQ, and I have to agree with him. That deck had some really good plays like Lone Fire Soul Charge, and it had Sylvan Charity to get you like 1,000,000 cards, and there were a lot of combos in that deck that were really complex and ended with just impossible boards to deal with. And Dinosaurs are like that too, but also like Sylvans, you can draw some just totally terrible hands. I mean, you could draw in Sylvans, it was all big trees or like Miracle Fertilizers with nothing to bring back, and just you could brick so bad even after acting Sylvan Charity. And I feel like Dinosaurs are sort of the same way. Yes, Diagram Baby or Diagram Overraptor is really powerful, and yes, you also have Terraforming to search the diagram and Fossil Dig to search the Dinosaurs, but you're not always going to open those hands, and sometimes when you open those hands, they get popped by Trident, and that's really rough. I mean, if you looked in the two videos ago in the gameplay with Austin and I, you can see where I open double Terraforming and he pops one diagram with Trident and one diagram with Ghost Ogre, and it's like, well, at that point I've lost all my cards. Maybe that's not the best example because he Lunalight comboed me that game, but just in general, I mean, there's so many brick cards in this deck. There's the babies themselves are really terrible if you don't have a way to destroy them. Diagram is the best way that you can just hard draw the True Kings as well. You can use Ultimate Conductor to destroy them in your hand or field, but if you just draw like a handful of them, it's really rough. I know even at the small locals that I've gone to so far, there's already been several games, maybe not several, but a couple games where I've opened 4 baby Cerasauruses and the Petite Dragon or Petit Odon or whatever. The other one, the four baby cards. I've drawn 4 of them, and that was just virtually unplayable. At that point, there's nothing you can really draw to win. I mean, you can draw a diagram, but if your hand is diagram and 4 level 2 monsters, if they pop the diagram, you're gonna lose pretty fast. So I feel like the problem with this deck is that it has so many brick cards, and I don't know how we fix that. One way we can fix that is by playing more cards that get rid of the bricks in our hand. I mean, just up in the count of True Kings, maybe playing 2 or 3 of the fire one and a second of the water one, although he's kind of a brick as well. Obviously, maxing out on Terraforming Diagram is a must, but what if Set Rotation is sort of a card I've wrestled with here, because Set Rotation adds 3 more diagrams to your deck, but then it also adds another Garnet, and there's already so many Garnets in the deck. I mean, you have the Jirac monster, you have the babies, you have the Water True King. There's a lot of cards you don't want to draw, so I don't know if you want to add a field spell that you also don't want to draw, but I don't know. I feel like this deck could be good. I know it sounds like it's not, but I think all three of these are solvable, and I think people are trying to work on solving them. And I know it's not necessarily a budget deck for the WCQ, which is sort of the other issue, is that if you can afford to play Dinosaurs, you can afford to play Zoo, so why would you ever play Dinosaurs over Zoo? But I think Ultimate Conductor is actually just good enough to get you there a lot of the times, and I'll be interested to see if people take it to the WCQ and what builds actually are successful, because I think without the Lunalight combo in the game, other decks like Dinosaurs can be successful, and I think that's what we're going to see come July. But let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my rambling about Dinosaurs, and I will see you later. Bye.